Thank you so much, Lynn. And we will move now to the unveiling of the Xarub tree. And before I will invite Rabbi Mlכיאור to say a few words about the Xarub tree, just to share with you why the tree is planted and covered and we don't plant it today. I think Sandy is hiding there in the back, and Lisa and I had a very interesting discussion about a week ago, which usually I don't have because I landed in DC and I got an email, we have a problem. We could not plant a tree due to Shnat Shemitah because it's a fruit tree and you need to plant it more than 3 weeks in advance. So that's why we planted in it, and I'll invite Rabbi Mlכיאור to say a few words about the Xarub tree and the vision if he wants, and he's better than me telling the story and why. And then we will invite Lynn and the First Lady to cut the rope and take the unveil the tree.
גברת ריבלין, לין, סטייסי, כבוד ראש העיר, נשיא האוניברסיטה. Dear friends, this is a very special moment. So I was asked to say some words. Now I hear about the Xarub trees. Okay, so we'll talk about the Xarub tree. The Xarub tree, well, the Xarub is interesting. The Xarub, it's a very basic food. You can manage, there's a lot of stories about it. You can, if you have the Xarub and some water, you can manage on that as your food. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, he managed. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, we can discuss a little bit about it, was in a cave with his son, and they managed with that for a long time. And apparently they did some interesting things in that cave for a long time, just with eating the Xarub and with water. That's the basic. And I think that when we talk about the children and the children who have gone through abuse and the children are at risk, we're really talking about the basics, going to the absolute basics of society. If we cannot do for these children, if we start cutting budgets, as I'm afraid of, the minister is not here, I'm not going to talk about that, the finance minister, government not here, I'm not going to go. If we start cutting there, we're cutting in the basic of what we are here for. That is why you need a society, a community, a society. That is down to the basics. That's what the Xarub, one thing the Xarub teaches us. I think another thing the Xarub teaches us is, Xarub doesn't look much, right? You'll see it, it looks like a leaf, it doesn't look much. But when you eat it, it's sweet. It's very, very sweet, very unique in its taste. I think that's characteristic of every child, like the child we just heard about, like Chaim, and every child is unique. We talk about all these big bodies, the big bodies coming together, but it comes down to every single child who is sweet, who is special, and the concern which all these important people are coming around is in the end the concern for the sweetness of every child who has been hurt and damaged for life. Not something which will go away ever. There's next week, Yitzhak Kadman is gathering a gathering for one of the soldiers who committed suicide here during the war. Perfectly healthy and strong soldier who was fighting in the war, but who was damaged for life. You don't know ever when it comes back. You're damaged for life when you've been abused as a child. And we have to put all our researches and all our know-how and everything we have into society to help the sweet children. This is what we have, and I think if we can't do that as a Jewish people, that is the legacy of the Jewish people. The Jewish people has been throughout history a people at risk. What is a child at risk? A child at risk is a child who goes to bed at night and does not know what reality you wake up to the next morning. That has been the fate throughout history of the Jewish people. And one of the victories of Zionism is that we today are in a different situation. But that is the situation of the children at risk in this country today. And we have too many children at risk, and we have far too many children who are abused every day, sexually and physically, in this country. And that is what everything is coming together here. And the symbol of the Xarov is a symbol of going back to basics and dealing with this. And then it's Shnat Shmita. It's a special year we're going into. That's why you had to suddenly learn all the laws here. And it's not 3 weeks, it's 2 weeks before, but it's okay. And things had to be planted, something is 6 weeks. I'm not going to go into the details, that's not a rabbinic thing here. But the idea of the Shnat Shmita is an idea of equality of everybody, that we think we own things, and we come to this year, and suddenly the land is owned by everybody. Everybody is equal. And everybody, the poor, the rich, you don't have ownership of your own land. And you suddenly go back to basics again, and it reminds you that really we're all human beings, and it reminds you also for the rest of your life. And I think that the very special person who has put all this together, it wouldn't happen without the philanthropy of Lynn. I'm not going to talk about Lynn. Some of you have just mentioned you're allowed to say a little of the praise of a person. And she doesn't like it, and so I want to just say one thing about her philanthropy, because I lecture about it all kinds of different places. It's a model of philanthropy. It's a philanthropy which goes into partnerships. It's an intelligent philanthropy. It's not just philanthropy which giving money. It brings together the best of the forces here together. And it's a long-term philanthropy. It's not just you give something for 3 years and then you're out. Or you do something and then you keep people hanging in the air, and I can see so many things which are done like that. It's not like that. The investment here in Jerusalem, the investment in the children at risk here is something which is a deep, deep passion and care. And it's not something you can't invest in these children and keep them afterwards hanging in the air. And I'm so pleased that Stacy is here to see. This is something, one of the many reasons we love your mother for, and her commitment is so, so special. And I would wish that all the philanthropists would just learn a little of the lessons of this kind of special philanthropy, which we're rejoicing when we now will symbolize this with going to the basics and rejoicing with this young tree being planted here in the Hebrew University, in the heart of Jerusalem, in the heart of where we will have the strength, please God, to help Chaim and all the other children who have the sweetness and have the potential which we owe them to come into force through this work which will be done in the center. Thank you very, very much.